Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're dissecting an absolutely massive, frankly cinematic law enforcement event from July 2026 known as Operation Hardball. We're going to dive straight into the data and tactical reports to see exactly how the FBI pulled off the coordinated takedown of a massive transnational criminal empire. So I want you to picture the scene. It's just before sunrise. The world is mostly asleep, right? But out in the shadows, dozens of FBI agents are quietly getting into position around homes and warehouses. And then, at the exact same moment across the globe, agents look down at their secure devices and receive this single chilling message. Operation Hardball is live. That was the signal. I mean, this wasn't just some routine localized drug bust. This was the highly synchronized culmination of a massive global operation.
Part 1. The pre-dawn global raids.
To pull this off, tactical teams moved simultaneously on targets across 3 completely distinct regions: California, Canada, and across Europe. Just think about the sheer logistical nightmare of coordinating that for a second. You've got different time zones, different agencies, completely different legal jurisdictions, all having to act at the exact same split second to make sure no one could tip off the others. It literally had to be executed flawlessly to trap the syndicate all at once.
Part 2. Years in the making.
Now, an operation of this magnitude doesn't just happen overnight. According to U.S. authorities, this required years of intense shadow work. We're talking Phase 1, cracking their encrypted communications. Then Phase 2, painstakingly tracing these incredibly complex, obfuscated financial transactions across international borders. And finally, Phase 3, deploying undercover agents alongside some really advanced digital forensics. It's basically a masterclass in intelligence gathering, all happening way before a single door was ever kicked down.
And they needed all that prep because this wasn't just some localized crew. We are talking about a transnational organized crime network, a completely borderless syndicate deeply entrenched in extortion, drug trafficking, extreme violence, and money laundering. To dismantle a network that effectively erases international borders, well, law enforcement had to seamlessly erase their own. Part 3, the syndicate's fallout. So within hours of that initial go message we talked about, bam. Tactical teams executed more than 50 coordinated search warrants. 50. That is a massive, simultaneous breach of homes, warehouses, storage facilities, and suspected safe houses. Hitting 50 different locations all at once creates an absolute shockwave through the entire criminal organization. But here is where it gets really fascinating. Look at the discrepancy in these numbers from federal prosecutors. You have 37 individuals slapped with federal charges, but only 24 physical apprehensions. That gap right there, that tells a story. It means a significant chunk of the network is charged, but they somehow slipped through that initial pre-dawn sweep. And the sheer scope of the alleged crimes leveled against these defendants is absolutely staggering. They aren't just looking at one type of offense here. The allegations run the gamut from racketeering, drug trafficking, and extortion, all the way to weapons offenses and money laundering. And perhaps most chillingly, the charges actually include murder for hire conspiracies. So it really paints a picture of a highly organized, deeply dangerous syndicate that was willing to go to extreme, violent lengths to protect its business. Aside from the actual arrests, authorities reported seizing an absolutely massive haul from those 50-plus locations. Agents confiscated large quantities of illegal narcotics, multiple firearms and ammunition, and huge amounts of cash. But honestly, the most important asset listed here has to be the digital evidence. While the drugs and guns get them off the street today, investigators believe this seized digital data is going to be the absolute key to uncovering the rest of the network and dragging those remaining members out of the shadows.
Part 4. Not over yet.
Now, quick pause here before we look at the next phase. It's absolutely vital to remember the cornerstone of our justice system. Despite the dramatic raids and the severity of these charges, every single suspect is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. These arrests, they're really just step 1. So what is law enforcement doing right now? Well, investigators say the operation is actively ongoing. They are painstakingly analyzing every single seized financial record. They're extracting every possible clue from that digital evidence to identify the remaining syndicate members. Remember those charged defendants who weren't among the 24 arrested? Yeah, they're looking for them. Meanwhile, prosecutors are gearing up for what are surely going to be incredibly lengthy, complex federal trials. Because for the FBI, this was always about so much more than just a single series of arrests. It sends a definitive, undeniable message. As crime networks evolve into global, digital entities, international law enforcement is proving they can match that reach, investigate across borders, and shut them down. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly fascinating question to ponder today. With several suspects still under investigation and literally mountains of digital and financial records currently being decoded, was Operation Hardball the final blow to this criminal network? Or was it just the loud, explosive beginning of an even bigger investigation? It's a mystery we will definitely be watching unfold. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I hope it helped you grasp the true magnitude and the insane mechanics behind this historic global takedown. See you next time.